What's going on, everyone? So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace front rotors and pads. So obviously this rust right here on the edges and on the inside, that's not supposed to be here. I thought maybe, because we got the car like this, I thought maybe if you drove with it for a little bit it would wear out, but it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the rotors. So the first thing you need to do is take off this clip right here, and you can just use a regular flathead screwdriver and just pop it right out. Once one side comes out, the other side's a lot easier. So this is just a clip. And once you have that out, the next step is to take off the caliper, and it's held on by two pins, and they are one's right here and one's at the bottom. So this right here is the bottom pin, and this is the top one. You see this one's missing a cap. You're going to have to take those caps off and take the pins out. So those pins are a T45 Torx bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. And this is what those pins look like. As you can see, this one's pretty clean, but this one has a little, I don't know if it's rust or what, on the bottom here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean this up with some very, very fine sandpaper. And there's something right there. You're just going to want to go ahead and clean it up so they're nice and smooth, because this is what the caliper slides on. So you don't want there to be anything for the caliper to catch on, because that will cause uneven pad wear. And once they're cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and set them aside, and the next step is to take off the caliper. So now that the pins are out, we can just slide this off. And if you use a flathead screwdriver, you can just stick it in the top there and just pry it off. And just set it up on top, or you can hang it using a piece of wire or a coat hanger or something. Just hang it off of this. You don't want this, the brake line or the ABS cable to hold the weight of the caliper, so just go ahead and put it somewhere. I'm just going to leave it right here, because it's not going to fall for me. I'm not going to be doing anything rough over here. I just want to take that off, take the pads off, and we're going to go ahead and take off the caliper carrier and then replace this rotor. And that is held on with a 21mm socket. So now that that's off, we're almost there. The last thing holding the rotor on is this little bolt right here, and that is a Torx T30. So we're going to go ahead and get this rotor off. And there they are, the old rotor and the new rotor. You can see why I'm replacing it. So the only thing I'm going to mention about the new rotor is you're going to want to go ahead and clean it up with some brake cleaner, because they do coat it with some oil. There's a little bit of oil in there just so it doesn't rust in the package. So before you put that on the car, go ahead and clean that up with some brake cleaner. When putting the pad holder back together, I like putting a little bit of brake grease where the pads contact the holder. See right there. So just a little tiny bit, and then just smear it over the contact points. So that's what it looks like, a little grease on there. You just want this upper part to be covered in grease and a little bit at the bottom. Make sure you don't get grease on the insides here, because any grease, like I just got a little of my finger, any grease on the inside is going to end up on the rotor, and you don't want any grease on the rotor. That kind of defeats the purpose of cleaning it with the brake cleaner in the first place. But so you're just going to want to put a little bit of of grease on the tops here, just where the pad contacts the holder, just so it can slide easily and doesn't get stuck on anything. And when you're putting the pins back in, go ahead and lubricate the pin with the brake grease before you put it in. That way it'll let the caliper slide. It'll let it slide nice and easily when you hit the brakes. So you cleaned it up with some fine sandpaper. Now go ahead and coat it with a little bit of brake grease. And that, guys, is how you do front brakes on a B6 Audi A4. This is the same style brakes as the Passat. So a 2001 to 2005 Passat has the same kind of brakes. And then 2002 to 2005 Audi A4 also has this kind of brakes. So I hope you guys found that helpful. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll try to get more of these kind of videos up.